So, uh, with this whole Israel, Iran, US situation, conflict, whatever you want to call it, got me interested. So I just started doing history on like the connections between us and Iran, because I feel like for the longest time I would hear so much between us, Iran, and Iraq. So yeah, I started doing some digging and note taking on what I was digging up, and this is what I concluded. So in the 1950s, right, the U.S. took interest in Iran and wanted to like become allies with them, but Iran wasn't fucking with it because they were being fucked up by the UK, because the UK was shorting Iran from like their profits from a oil refinery which was owned by the fucking UK within Iran. So, in retaliation, Iran threatened to nationalize their oil industry. The U.S. Claimed the move to be like communistic. You feel me? That's like we know how that goes. And then the CIA staged a coup against the prime minister, uh, Mohammed. I don't know how to say his name, but you see the name. And they recruit the Shah. You feel me? To be allied with them because they feel like that's the real leader of Iran. Or it is. I didn't look too far into that part, but then that was in 1953. So from there, like I guess it was kind of like disarray for a while, and then a revolution had to form over the next couple decades, and then in 1979, like the revolution was in full effect, and this led to the Iranian hostage crisis, where Iran they ran up into an embassy and they started taking hostages and making demands. But then the U.S. would just be like, okay, I see you fighting back. We don't like that. So they hit Iran with trade embargoes and fucking economic sanctions, and they were really just trying to fuck up their economy, and as the colonizing, I mean, the capitalistic powers of the West typically do. So then the U.S. would sell weapons to Iran, but the way they would do it was by selling them through Israel. And I'm not sure. I didn't give me one. So at first I wasn't sure why Iran and Israel had been in cahoots, and I was like, damn. I mean, like reading it over now, I kind of just wrote this shit and I just started like I started explaining it. So the point is, they were both non-Arab states in a territory where they were surrounded by a bunch of hostile or Arab states. I think Iran was supplying like 60% oil to Israel. I'm saying I think, but I just read it. That literally is the case. And why else were they? I forgot. They had a hard falling out though, obviously. So yeah, after the Iran Contra affair in the 1980s, they would use the money to illegally fund an anti-communistic movement in Nicaragua. This is America. I guess it was like some sort of shot. Well, this is not in America. This is from America, but it was some sort of shot at Iran. I'm not sure. I didn't dig deeper into that. So then Iran gets into a war with Iraq, and the U.S. is like, all right, let's give Saddam Hussein anything he needs to like beat Iran. You feel me? Put them on the ground. But they're only doing this to like just have power over Iran's hierarchy by using their own plans, basically, because like after the war, the U.S. turned on Saddam Hussein immediately, and they drove him out of power and they killed him. And then Iran started to develop nuclear weapons in order to protect themselves because they're seeing how slimy America's moving. And then because of that, America's like, okay, we see you see us. So they like decided to lift all the sanctions, the economic sanctions, and free up. They also freed up like billions of asset dollars that had been frozen in foreign banks. But they only did this if Iran agreed to stop producing nuclear weapons, and that was like a whole deal that they made. And then the U.S. just decided to void the deal like 5 years later because of Donald Trump came into office, and he was like, okay, the way y'all been running shit is ass. Let me show y'all what we need to be doing as America, and fucked us again. Actually, so yeah, then Iran in retaliation bombs the U.S. military bases. I forgot where they were, but you can look into it, and then you know the rest from there is the because like after Israel had secretly been selling weapons to had been teaming up with the U.S. to make them money through selling out Iran weapons. They became like arch nemesis. They weren't allies no more, and then fucking and they were just competing in a shadow war against each other, and still are, just with like sabotage, assassination, hacking, blah, blah, blah. And then America steps in again because fucking of the bombing between Iran and Israel. It's like, oh, ceasefire, great, protection, peace.